Welcome all of you to my channel, and today we are going to start a new video series on Pathoma. So Pathoma is a very interesting book written by Hussein Sattar, and in this book we will basically focus on the topics of pathology, and it will be helpful for the students of the basic science and those who want to build up the concept in basics. Also it will be helpful for those who are preparing for USMLE or NBME exam or any type of exam, entrance exam or their course exam. So let's start from the very basic concept, that is our chapter growth, adaptation and cell death. So friends, what is hypertrophy? The first topic, what is hypertrophy? So hypertrophy is basically increase in size of the cell. So friends, increase in size of the cell will lead to increase in size of the organ. So why hypertrophy occurs? So usually hypertrophy occurs due to any stimulus. For example, a weightlifter lifts the weight. Okay, a weightlifter lifts the weight, and due to persistent weightlifting forces on our skeletal muscle, the skeletal muscle's fiber size increases over the time if we are continuing the stimulus, and after few time there will be the hypertrophy. Then it means increase in size of the muscle, which will ultimately lead to the overall increase in size of the skeletal muscle. So this is hypertrophy. And while talking about what the stimulus does, the stimulus will actually regulate the gene mechanism. It will start the protein synthesis of the muscle. It will also increase the organelles number. So due to these all things, there will be occur hypertrophy. Okay, now there is another term, hyperplasia. So basically hyperplasia can be physiological, can be pathological. So physiological hyperplasia means increase in number of cell under the physiological condition. Okay, let's suppose in any females during the menstrual cycle, a female, the endometrium of the uterus sets off in every menstrual cycle period for 2 to 3 days, and after the menstrual cycle again the endometrial that is set off, again that will be formed in the same area. So that is endometrial hyperplasia. Okay, but the hyperplasia can become pathological. Okay, so pathological when we will say that if the number of the cell is growing in an uncoordinated manner, in an excessive manner, so it will ultimately lead to the, so pathological hyperplasia friends, it will ultimately lead to the dysplasia. So dysplasia means there is abnormal increase in number of the cell, not only increase in number of cell, it means abnormal increase in number of cell, and that dysplasia will lead to the cancer, guys. Okay, so very important points that you usually asked in MCQ question. What is the exception? So exception is here, benign prostate hyperplasia. Remember the friends, every pathological hyperplasia, remember friends, every pathological hyperplasia has chances of getting converted into carcinoma, but there is exception of only one hyperplasia. Very important MCQ question. So which pathological hyperplasia will not increase the risk of carcinoma? That is, answer is benign prostate hyperplasia. So friends, benign prostate hyperplasia does not increase the risk of prostate cancer. Okay, so if you have BPH, it is also pathological hyperplasia, but it do not increases the risk of prostate cancer. Okay friends, so let's go down. So here is another term, atrophy. What is atrophy? Atrophy is nothing, basically it is a decrease in number of cell, and that will ultimately lead to the decrease in size of the cell, and which will ultimately lead to the decrease in size of the organs. So friends, how the atrophy occurs? So atrophy occurs by the two pathways, guys. Atrophy occurs physiologically or pathologically by apoptosis. So apoptosis is a natural cell death. It is also known as programmed cell death, and it is a type of cell death which is most of the time physiological. And remember the remember the thing, friend, necrosis is also a type of cell death, but necrosis induces inflammation, whereas apoptosis never induces inflammation. This is a very basic MCQ point. Okay, and what happens, there is a ubiquitin protein, and this ubiquitin protein of the cell, it will combine with the proteasome. It will combine with the proteasome of the cell, and when the ubiquitin proteasome make a complex, that this complex will degrade the cytoskeleton of the cell. So basically the cell can hold its position due to the presence of brother cytoskeleton, due to the presence of cytoskeleton. And to destroy the cytoskeleton, there should be formation of complex, that is ubiquitin proteasome complex, and due to this degradation of the cytoskeleton, there will be decrease in size of the cell. Ultimately the cell can, it can ensue the cell death also. Okay. Hello friends, so the next topic we're going to discuss is metaplasia. So basically friends, what is metaplasia? It's a very important topic, friends. Metaplasia is defined as the conversion of one type of epithelium into another type of epithelium, friends. So to understand this, let's take a condition, a clinical condition, friends, that is Barrett esophagus. Okay, so let's see. Normally the esophagus, okay, the lining of the esophagus, so this is, let's suppose this is esophagus, so the lining of esophagus is non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, friends. So friends, the lining of the esophagus is non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, and this epithelium is basically, the God was, our Almighty God prepared this epithelium in order to handle the friction of food. So this epithelium was very good for handling the friction that is caused by the food. But whenever there is a condition known as GERD, so what happens in GERD, friends? So in GERD means gastroesophageal reflux disease. So friends, in the GERD, the lower esophageal sphincter, LES, so LES is known as lower esophageal sphincter, friends. So this lower esophageal sphincter tone decreases. So whenever the tone of this sphincter decreases, the acid products produced in the stomach get regurgitated or get refluxed into the esophagus, friends. Okay, and you know that the epithelium present in the esophagus is not able to handle the stress of the reflux acid. Okay, so whatever the acid that is coming into the esophagus, the lining is not able to handle it. Why? It was suitable to handle the friction of food only, not suitable to handle the problem of the acid, not handle the problem of the acidity. That is why when there is a recurrent acid reflux for a longer period of time, then there will be the metaplasia. So what happens in metaplasia? So in the metaplasia, there will be the conversion of the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium into non-ciliated mucin producing columnar cell, friends. So this is the intestinal epithelium present in the intestine. So what the God does, our Almighty God will convert it into the non-ciliated mucin producing columnar cell, and this cell is basically better in handling the acid stress, So to adapt the condition, whenever the one type of epithelium is converted into the another type of epithelium, this phenomenon is known as metaplasia, friends. Okay, one thing you might be coming in your mind, that is it a reversible process? Yes, it is a reversible process, friends. It means, let's suppose if you are giving the stress for a longer period of time, it will convert into another type of epithelium. But if you will again reverse the process, if you will again treat the GERD problem, if there will be no GERD, then again there will be no acid going into the into the intestine, into the esophagus, and after some time there will be again reverse back of the mucin producing columnar cell into the again non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, and this process is metaplasia, friends. Okay, and remember that what is the mechanism of metaplasia? This metaplasia occurs by reprogramming of the stem cells. It means stem cells are those cells which will ultimately make the, either they can make non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, or they can make non-ciliated mucin producing columnar cells. So stem cell, when there will be reprogramming means the stem cells, let's suppose this is stem cell, this stem cell is actually programmed to either convert into any specific type of cell, but that is decided by the DNA. Okay, that is decided by the DNA and the type of stress that is acting upon the DNA. Okay, but whenever there is a let's suppose this stem cell was programmed to form the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, but if you are giving repeated stress, there will be mutation, or there will be alteration in the DNA subscription, due to which there will be change in the DNA expression, and due to the change in the DNA expression, there is a reprogramming of the stem cells. And when there is a reprogramming, then friends, when there is reprogramming, it means the program has changed. So if the program has changed, now it will not form the non-keratinized, it will form the non-ciliated mucin producing columnar cells. Okay, so yes, this metaplasia, what it will do, it will cause the reprogram. Metaplasia occurs due to reprogramming of the stem cells, guys. So it will be asked in MCQ question, what is the reason for metaplasia? It is reprogramming of the stem cells. Okay, so this persistent stress, okay, so whenever there will be persistent stress, a normal cell will, first of all, it will convert into metaplasia, and due to the metaplasia, at last it can ultimately, like in the hyperplasia, it was also leading to the dysplasia. So metaplasia also can lead to the dysplasia, and it can also lead to the carcinoma. So metaplasia is also known as precancerous lesion, guys. Okay, so Barrett esophagus, whenever there is a Barrett esophagus, it is defined as the metaplasia of the esophagus, and it can lead to the esophageal cancer. It can lead to the esophageal cancer. So you can say that the Barrett esophagus is a pre-malignant lesion, that it is lesion that comes before the malignancy, before the cancer. Okay, so the exception, so this very important exception. What is the exception? So this exception is breast apocrine metaplasia of the breast, guys. So in the breast there are apocrine glands. Okay, so in the breast there are apocrine glands. So that apocrine glands present in the breast is actually involved in the secretion of milk. Okay, and whenever this apocrine gland get into the metaplasia, okay, it will not give the carcinoma. Okay, it will not lead to the carcinoma. Usually every metaplasia will lead to cancer. Exception is apocrine metaplasia of the breast, which will not lead to the carcinoma. It is exception, guys. Okay,